Bellum SMP Minecraft server. Some of you may have never heard of this before, while others of you may have just been bombarded with fond memories we all shared together on the short-lived Minecraft server. Bellum, translated from Latin, means war. And that we had seen lots of, from internal wars amongst players to facing what some of you may have remembered, the Tempest Society, which is part of the Bellum lore. We'll get onto that later though. Today, we are going to take a deeper dive at the memories associated with Bellum, how it started and its return. I'm your host, Graviti, and this is the JakeBoi Podcast. The Bellum SMP Minecraft server started when a duck on Kraken, we know as Duck, wanted a place to express his passion, story writing through Minecraft and share it amongst friends he knew would enjoy and appreciate the journey. When Duck was in Jake's streams, he noticed how interested people were in Jake's Minecraft stuff, like they still are to this day, and how often they wanted to accompany him during his Minecraft streams. Duck quickly noticed how difficult it could be sometimes for everyone to play Minecraft with Jake. They had recently been introduced to the concept of an SMP server, a story-driven Minecraft server. Duck thought it would be a great idea to bring this up to Jake because not only could everyone play, but everyone could interact with a story. So that's how the idea of Bellum SMP came to be. We will discuss the struggles that it faced with members trying to take the story into their own hands and the difficulties of organising a story with little viewers. We've got Duck onto the podcast to discuss all about it.
Yo, what's up?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So I'm just gonna go right into it. Okay. So in the SMP, there was a big centre place with things located around, like gladiator arenas. Was it just you, or was it someone else that built those?
So the gladiator build was actually something I built. Me leading the project, doing most of the work, but I did have help from other people.
Right.
The spawn was actually built by Sam.
You were talking to me the other day about the reboot, and you were reminding me of the good old days. You mentioned that Sam kind of took control over parts and stole your storyline. Could you talk a bit about this?
So I wouldn't necessarily go to the extent that he stole my storyline, because he kind of made his own storyline. We kind of discussed that we wanted to do a story together, and then I guess we just didn't talk about it for a while because we were busy working on the server itself.
All
He
right.
eventually kind of made a story about incorporating magic into Minecraft, which is a cool idea. I'm not downing that idea at all. I just wasn't sure exactly where to go with the story at the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, there needs to be more to it than just adding magic to D&D. There needs to be, well, a story behind that, basically. And he
Yeah.
kind of had this, then he had this war thing going on with Jake, which I thought was pretty entertaining content, on a stream. But I kind of came up with this idea that, what if there was this society that wanted to take down Bellum and just wreak havoc and recruit members of the Bellum community to be secretly on their side. And I kind of just kept rolling with that, and I think some people gravitated towards mine, and then other people gravitated more towards Sam's, but it was kind of divided at the time. I think it'll be a little more organized when it comes to this new server that we're working on.
Yeah. How far did you get with the storyline of the old one with your bit?
So, we basically had, it's been a while, but, essentially what was happening was, the Tempest Society, which was the society against Bellum, wanted to destroy Bellum and start war. They were recruiting, some people from the actual community of Bellum to, help them out and whatnot, and, I don't know if you guys, anybody that played, if they remember Soy. He was actually one of the people recruited to help out. may have took it a little too far at times, like
Yeah.
in regards to like when I wasn't on. But it's he did either way he did a pretty good job like doing his role at the time, I think. And then, but yeah. But I guess where I was at with the story was a war was about to happen. It didn't necessarily happen on the server per se. Um, but this next server is just going to resume from a time period after the war. I guess we kind of skipped over the war part itself,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe that will come in at a different time.
Yeah. Do you know enough about Sam's storyline to like tell us a bit about the Jake's team and Sam's team?
All I really know, because like I said, I was kind of busy doing my own thing at the time. All I really know about his storyline was that there was magic involved, and then something about it was either Sam or Jake. Like I don't know, like they killed their dog or something, or maybe it was one of their teammates.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not
there was something
sure.
about dogs. That's what I
Yeah,
remember.
and then one person just wreaked havoc on the other person's base, basically.
All right.
Um, it was pretty entertaining to watch on Jake's stream, though. I'll have to admit, like they did play their roles pretty well. I think,
Yeah.
like people were actually convinced that they were mad at each other, even though they're just acting.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was late, guys. Yeah.
Continue where we left off.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Okay. The SMP wasn't open to everyone. You had to apply to get whitelisted. Do you think this whitelist barrier caused less viewers to watch the streams?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, oh,
I was gonna say I'll let Jake answer this one, but I have like my thoughts on it.
Do you want to share your thoughts, Duck?
My thoughts. I feel like some people left knowing that they wouldn't be whitelisted for a while. Like they watched this stream, just to join, and then after they found out that they had to be whitelisted and accepted, they didn't. Like I don't think it was like a lot of people, but I did notice while watching this stream
Yeah.
that some people will just leave after finding out they had to be whitelisted.
yeah. I mean, I do agree with that. Like, I think some people did leave after like I said, oh yeah, you have to wait in the whitelist and that. But I feel like it was safest because at the time, we didn't actually have any like plugins to stop like people griefing and stuff. So it just it felt safer if it felt safer to me if like they had to go through this form and wait a while, and it felt like less people would grief and like feel like they wanted to grief because they needed all that time to sort of get on the server. And if someone just wanted to join to grief the server, like they couldn't do that. That's sort of the idea behind it.
All right. What was your experience with streaming the lore? Did you get told before what needed to happen, or did it just happen when you were streaming it?
Oh, that is a very good question. Well, with the lore, we'd sort of like said put like sort of a boundary out. So this to lead to this, but we didn't like write a script or anything. And also I felt like with some of the lore streams, they didn't really seem I was sort of like put off by the lore streams because I felt like it wasn't like as interactive with like the viewers and stuff, but because like they had to be in on it and like all that. But yeah, it's most of it was made up on the spot, to be honest. It was just sort of like, we're starting here, we need to finish, like somebody's died or something like that, and yeah, it just sort of like went from there.
Yeah, did Duck tell you the lore, or was it Sam?
Well, it was a bit of a, like, Duck, if you remember, we had on that server we had a chat where we'd sort of discuss lore and like where we wanted it to go. So it was sort of like input from everyone, which I really liked as well. So it wasn't just like
Yeah.
one person doing it.
So like I was discussing with Graviti about how like I like Sam's idea. It's just I kind of had like a separate idea of what I wanted to do with the lore for the server.
Yeah,
but-
we sort of like inputted everybody's ideas, sort of thing, and sort of like combined them. I thought that worked quite well, to be fair.
Yeah, like I know I was kind of like discussing this with Graviti yesterday because he's was kind of helping me with the new Bellum server, and we're basically gonna have a writer's role in the Discord that we're making, and basically we're gonna have like assigned. I was thinking about having like assigned writers for the script and storyline, like basically where you guys meet up once a week and discuss like where you want to go
Yeah.
from here, and then you all like collectively agree on something, and then. But I was also gonna have a place where people could make suggestions about where the storyline could go. So
Yeah, Jake, how many viewers did you get about at the time?
Well, the Bellum SMP did wonders for my Twitch channel. And before I started streaming, the Bellum, I sort of had like an average of about 7 or 8 viewers. But I remember this one time, the first lore stream actually was where we fought a wither, I think it was. For some reason I can't 100% remember, but I remember because I usually had my viewers turned off, but sometimes I have a little peek. It was like a cheeky little peek.
Yeah.
So I remember looking at my view count and it was like 16 or something, and I was blown away because that was loads for the time. I think that was like my viewer record or something like that, and I was blown away. And it was like my usually like when I streamed the Bellum SMP, I got an average of like 13 viewers, which was mental for me at the time. If you think I'd been streaming for about 2 or 3 months, I'd say. With like I usually have like an average 6, 7, maybe sometimes 8 on a good day. Like that just instantly shot up to like 13, 14. It was crazy. It did absolute wonders.
Yeah. Do you think it was confusing for new viewers because there wasn't any sort of recap stuff?
Yeah, well, that was like sort of the problem sometimes. Some people would like come into the stream and be like what's going on? But I feel like I did like a pretty good job at like I've filling people in on trying to get up to date. I think at one point we had a an exclamation mark Bellum or something like that for like a recap and like a thing to just sort of fill everyone in, and I think that worked quite well. I do understand. I think we lost a few viewers because it just got a bit crazy near at the end. But yeah, it definitely was confusing for some of the new people, but I like to think I did an all right job at sort of filling them in.
Do you have any input on that, Duck?
I'd have to agree with what he said. I think it would have been kind of confusing for people that just joined, like what's going on in the lore. And I think that could be an issue. Like really any SMP that you just join in on the server, like if you're joining someone's Twitch channel, if they're in the middle of like a storyline, obviously it's gonna be confusing to anybody.
Yeah,
in any
it
situation.
would sort of like put you off if you were like behind on the.
But I think I've kind of found a way for if people are really invested in trying to join and want to learn the lore, like with the Bellum that we're working on now, I actually some of you may already be aware there's like a YouTube channel for it, and I was gonna basically have like a weekly recording session, and we're gonna
Give it a cheeky little shout out,
that.
Duck.
I think. I don't want to get it wrong. I think it's. I can't remember the channel name from the top of my head. It's like Bellum SMP.
I'll put the
MC
link
or
in the
something.
description, everything.
There you go.
Yeah, let's go.
How did it end? Did the momentum just like slowly go away?
I
think it
feel
kind
like.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Thanks. I feel like as I started sort of getting bigger, and like the Bellum this is one of a variety of stuff. The Bellum SMP just didn't seem to like get as many viewers. I feel like people were just getting bored of it. It was quite repetitive. We did Duck actually did put quite a few events on, which I thought was quite good. That would like be quite interactive. I think we did what was it like I can't remember it was a purge event or something like that.
Yeah, it was like well, Sam had some kind of purge event going on. I don't know exactly what happened with that, but I had a kind of like a Hunger Games type
Yeah.
event where I put everybody inside of this on this island. It was just bedrock from like top to bottom.
Yeah, and
People could mine and everything, but
yeah. So I feel like them events were like good for Bellum. And like lots of new viewers were like if they just first joined the stream, they're like, "Whoa, boom, this server looks sick. I wanna join."
Yeah.
But like when I wasn't streaming an event, it just didn't seem to like sort of click with the viewers. And so I just started like streaming it less and less. I just started sort of fading out, and people just weren't playing it as much, which was a shame because it's fun. I mean, that's sort of like every Minecraft server. Like it needs to like sort of have a break and have like a rest. Otherwise, it's just gonna get so repetitive and boring, or like a reset.
The sub SMP.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. That's why I've done like multiple viewer SMPs, because if you watch my streams, I think I've done probably 2 or 3 viewer SMPs, because they just get so boring and so like repetitive. Like if you just stay on the same server, so like you need to spice it up. So I feel I didn't really know that at the time because I was very new to streaming, so I didn't really like get it. So I just thought, oh, people just don't like it anymore, I'm just not going to stream it. So I think that's why it sort of just started just to fade off.
yeah, I think kind of like to add on to that. I did notice that it seems like it's only good for a certain amount of time. Like, and it's funny because like I would talk about like resetting the server, and people would be like, "No, don't do that. I have a lot of stuff on there." And I'll be like, "But you haven't been on in like a week." And he's like, "Yeah, because it's boring." I'm like, "Exactly. That's why I need to reset it." And but I don't know. Like I noticed that it does get kind of like boring and repetitive at some points. That's why I was thinking about, I'll start up this new Bellum server in the summer, and maybe it'll just be a summer thing, because by the time people start back at school again, they're not gonna have time to play it anyway.
Yeah.
I feel like as well, just adding on to that, like people were sort of getting it. I feel like my viewership sort of, and people didn't. They were sort of like new to like SMPs, because that's when this is about where Tommy in it just started sort of blowing up. Loads of people just trying to get on the SMP hype, and they didn't really get it, and they didn't understand why they weren't enjoying it anymore. And like when, for example, when Duck was like, "Should I reset it?" Everyone was like, "No," because like they thought it would just be the same on a different server. I feel, and it would, yeah. I feel like they're just fine. Yeah, it was just new. I don't think anyone understood it.
Yeah. And Duck, I
Mhm.
remember the SMP closed for like a couple of weeks because the world got lost or something. What was that all about? And did that relate to the decline?
I feel like it did relate to the decline. I think at the time I was just having computer issues. I believe it was like
Yeah.
like I had to get like a new laptop because like the one I was using just died. So like I wasn't really able to do anything at all for like a couple weeks until I could get another one.
Right.
To sort of add on to that as well, I feel like it's in lockdown as well. It's sort of like once you get out of the habit of doing something, for example, like when the server shuts down, once you get out of the habit of just like logging onto the server and like grinding stuff, I feel like you just don't feel the need to do it anymore, and it's just not as like enjoyable and fun.
Yeah. For those listening at home, Bellum SMP is rebooting with a new-ish storyline, releasing June the 4th. If you want to stay updated, follow the link in the description for the Discord and the YouTube. Duck, can you give us a little snippet into what is to come without giving spoilers?
Okay, so I think if you saw the trailer, and you know like the previous storyline that I was going with, the Tempest Society is going to make another appearance in this new server. I don't really want to say how exactly, but just know that this next trailer that I'm currently working on, I'm gonna try to get it out before the actual server starts. It's gonna give you a little more insight and kind of like a riddle of sorts that will hint at how the return happens exactly.
That's all my questions. Do you guys want to say anything else?
Look forward to Bellum.
Oh yeah,
And-
Jake, are you streaming it?
I will be, yes, on twitch.tv/JakeBoi247. Got to throw that out there.
Yeah.
If you happen to run into this podcast, not through Jake Twitch stream, make sure to give him a follow.
Yeah. Thank you, Duck.
Speaking of that, Jake, you should probably get to your stream.
Yeah, it is currently 5:25, and I should be live at 5.
An hour
so,
ago.
so my viewers are probably going to be hating me.
All right, goodbye.
Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
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 That is all for this fortnight's episode. Thanks so much for listening to it. It's been Graviti, Jake, and Duck with the JakeBoi Podcast.